people have been speculating, is Brittany Griner actually a female or a male? Now, Brittany Griner actually does play in the WNBA, which is a women's basketball association, right?
The stance that I've taken, the stance that 90% of Americans, and I would imagine 99% of elite level athletes have, that men should not be in women's sports. It's harmful to women to allow such.
You know, not everybody has that smooth coming out, but, you know, once you do it, it's like a light came on me, on the inside, around me, everything. I felt like I was Brittany Griner.
I think there's probably one other job that you're about to get into that is really hard and really scary. You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together.
Pops.
About to be a pops.
Riley Gaines is back causing a storm. But this time, it ain't just about trans athletes in general. She's coming straight for the WNBA. She's claiming they forced players to keep their mouths shut about Brittany Griner's real gender. According to Riley, league officials told players straight up, don't talk about Brittany, don't ask questions, don't make it a thing. Wild, right? Ever since Riley went public with it, she's been blacklisted like she spilled some top secret national info, like creepy silence everywhere. Folks are saying someone's definitely hiding something. And now people are like, what's really going on with Brittany Griner? Riley's been on this mission since Leah Thomas, but this one just hits different. If what Riley's claiming is even half true, the whole WNBA is done. So how did we even get to this crazy point?
The stance that I've taken, the stance that 90% of Americans, and I would imagine 99% of elite level athletes have, that men should not be in women's sports. It's harmful to women to allow such.
It all goes back to Riley Gaines, the same chick who turned her tie with Leah Thomas at the NCAA swim finals into a full-blown mission. Riley ain't just throwing shade. She clocked in and said, I'm taking down the whole system. For real. And what's crazier, she wasn't just talking about fairness, she made it sound like people's safety was at stake. Now, check out this quick clip where Riley straight up says that. It's short, but you'll see the vibe she's been on this whole time. So yeah, she's basically saying it ain't just about who's faster or stronger. It's about real women getting hurt out here. Whether you mess with her or not, that's a heavy accusation. Now she's dragging Brittany Griner right into it, accusing the WNBA of doing some next-level cover-up, forcing players to keep Brittany's real gender a secret. And that brings us back to the big question everyone's been asking. Why is the WNBA going so hard to protect Brittany Griner? Because if Riley's even half right about what she heard, and the league is really trying to cover this up, then something deep is going on. This scandal would destroy them if it ever came out that Brittany wasn't biologically female, and the league knew the whole time.
Your first WNBA championship, what will you remember most?
Just the fight and everything that we had to do to get this win. Definitely remember that eye and that tooth. It was all worth it to hold this trophy.
Thank you, Brittany. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's lawsuits, congressional hearings, players suing for fairness, and fans dipping out for good. This wouldn't just shake up the league, it would break it. Plus, they'd have to erase history. Brittany's got medals, championships, all-star titles, everything. If her gender status ever got officially questioned, all her wins would be up for debate. Folks would start demanding her awards get stripped, records recounted, stats disqualified. That's not just messy, that's legacy ending. And that's why this next clip hits so different. Brittany, right after her first championship. Proud, emotional, the face of the league. Now imagine the league having to act like that moment never happened. Like all those milestones just got erased. Yeah, that ain't happening. Because here's the third thing, and let's be real. It's major. Brittany ain't just another player. She's the player. She survived a Russian prison, got traded for an arms dealer. That's not just athlete energy. That's global headline vibes. The internet was screaming, "Free BG," like it was a movement. And when she came back home, the WNBA treated her like royalty. Now check this next part. It says it all. After her release, Brittany made it clear how deep it all ran.
While relieved to be back on U.S. soil and back on the basketball court as she resumes her position as center for the Phoenix Mercury, Griner is forever changed by the experience and says she won't put herself in such a vulnerable position again.
Well, I can say for me, I'm never going overseas to play again unless I'm representing my country at the Olympics. You know, if I make that team, that would be the only time I would leave the U.S. soil, and that's just to represent the USA.
She didn't just bounce back. She came back with pride, purpose, and a whole army backing her up. So yeah, when Riley Gaines throws shade, she ain't just coming for a player, she's coming for the league's golden girl. And here's the fourth thing that's gonna sting. If any of what Riley's saying turns out to be true, then she just won her whole biological fairness battle in one move. She's been yelling for years that trans women shouldn't compete in women's sports. And if Brittany turns out to be that smoking gun that gives Riley's crew the big W they've been waiting for, that's exactly why the league is doing everything they can to shut her down. Now in this next clip, Riley lays it all out herself. Whether you rock with her or not, you'll see exactly why the league might be freaking out right now. The second Riley aimed her claims at Griner, the WNBA didn't just brush her off, they straight up iced her out. And you gotta ask, if it was all just fake news, why hit her with a full blackout? Makes no sense. Now fifth, don't sleep on this part. This ain't just about the WNBA, because guess who's tied to them tight as glue? The NBA. Yup, Big Bro NBA co-signs them heavy, funds them, runs joint campaigns, and through all this noise, they've said nothing. Not even a week We Stand With Women post, which got people thinking, maybe they ain't just staying quiet. Maybe they're helping keep it buried.
My take is just about the least controversial take on the entire planet. It's described as an 80-20 issue. I think it's more drastic than that. I think it's a 90-10 issue, if not even more than that. 90% of Americans, of course, believing that men don't belong in women's sports, but for saying that out loud, publicly and unapologetically, you're really met with some of the most hostile and oftentimes violent encounters that you could possibly imagine.
Because if the WNBA gets exposed for hiding something this massive, the NBA ain't walking away clean either. They'd be in the mud together. And sixth, this one hits the WNBA brand right in the chest. They've spent years hyping up their image, the most inclusive, most progressive league out there, always yelling, "We stand with the community, pro-LGBTQ+, pro-trans, front lines of every social movement." But if they've been hiding Brittany's real gender this whole time, that ain't just shady. It destroys their whole campaign. Like, boom! Now listen to this old snippet from former WNBA president Laurel Richie. She's literally out here bragging about how inclusive the league is. Imagine how that's gonna age if Riley's cover-up theory turns out real. Like expired almond milk, rotten and stinking up everything. And last, but definitely not least, the lawsuits would come in hot. Because if Brittany's gender was misrepresented on official paperwork,
WNBA has long embraced the LGBT community, both on the court and in the stands. But starting this week, it will become the first professional sports league to have a marketing campaign specifically targeting those fans.
And for us, it's really a celebration of diversity and inclusion and a recognition of an audience that has been with us very passionately.
Rosters, medical forms, anything tied to international games. That's not just PR drama. That's fraud. That's breach of contract. That's federal level heat right there. Investigations, lawsuits, canceled endorsements, the type of fallout that could straight up collapse the whole league. So yeah, if Riley's even half right, this ain't just a scandal. It's sports history being rewritten in real time. But what kicked off this whole mess? It all popped off during a regular WNBA game. Phoenix Mercury versus Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark took a hard foul. Nothing crazy, just normal on-court heat. But Brittany, she was heated, stomping off with mad attitude, and as she walked past, a courtside mic accidentally picked up what sounded like her yelling something wild. Here's the clip Riley jumped on. Listen close to those first seconds.
Or the ticky-tack fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
Now the audio's fuzzy? Sure.
Yeah, the audio's fuzzy, sure. But Riley didn't waste a damn second before turning it into breaking news. Sis was already on Twitter with the video, bolded quotes in caps lock, dripping with outrage. She posted, "Just a reminder, this is who we traded for the Russian merchant of death." Savage. Now imagine if Clark had said the reverse, but it didn't end there. That's when the internet said, "Bet, let's dig." And oh, they did not disappoint. First up, Russian prison records. This one had people clutching their phones hard. When Brittany got detained overseas, everyone assumed she was in a women's facility, right? But according to multiple sources, that's not what happened. Reports started circling that Brittany was actually held in a men's prison. That one detail sent conspiracy TikTok into a meltdown. Here's a clip of Brittany herself talking about prison conditions. Listen to how she describes the space and why it didn't fit. "It ain't a confirmation, but the vibe? Yeah." People heard that and started side-eyeing everything. Now the big question is, did the Russians already know something the US has been tiptoeing around?
Like in that particular jail.
The mattress had a huge blood stain on it, and they give you these thin 2 sheets, so you're basically laying on bars. From middle of my shin to my feet, stuck through the bars, which in prison, you don't really want to stick your leg and arm through bars, because someone go up and grab it, break it, twist it, and that's what was going through my mind.
You were only allowed 1 roll of toilet paper that had to last you a month.
There was like 2-3 months where we didn't get anything.
And the toothpaste had expired, what, 15 years?
It was like 15 years ago. That toothpaste was expired. We used to put it on the black mold to kill the mold on the walls.
To break any Russian laws. I made an honest mistake, and I hope that in your ruling, that it doesn't end my life here.
And where you're heading to, it's called IK2?
IK2.
Known as one of the worst prisons in Russia.
Yeah.
What were the conditions like there?
Really cold. It's a work camp. You go there to work. There's no rest. So I'm picking up these big beams of fleece and cotton and silk. We put it on this machine and you roll it out 100 times, clamp it, cut it.
And if they did, why has no one in the WNBA ever addressed it? It's the silence for me. Then came the IG story. You already know which one. Brittany shirtless, walking around like it's nothing. No scars, no chest tape, no compression vest, just a flat, smooth chest on full display. And the post stayed up for 2 years. Not flagged, not blurred, not removed. Now hold up. Here's the clip everyone's been reposting, pausing, and zooming in on. Let's be real. If anyone else posted that, AI would have flagged it in 10 seconds. But for Griner, silence. Because when you stack this with the Russian prison rumors, the media blackout, Riley getting iced out.
Swaggy, Brittany, let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Jab stepping, just a brick. Swing and a miss. Oh! Yo, I ain't.
It's looking way less like coincidence and way more like a carefully protected narrative. And the way they froze her out, like she leaked a whole federal indictment. It's not giving, oops. It's giving, you weren't supposed to connect those dots. Now this next part, oh, it's about to ruffle serious feathers and probably snatch a few front office wigs clean off. Because while the league out here ghosting Riley like she stole their championship trophy, things are getting real messy. Guess who the WNBA suddenly made time for? Caitlin Clark's fans. Yep, out of nowhere, the league launched a whole internal probe just because folks online were saying her fan base was being too aggressive and making players feel unsafe. No physical threats, no real incidents, just some spicy tweets, that's it. And suddenly the league was like, let's open an investigation. Let's get statements. Let's protect our players. Wild. Meanwhile, Brittany Griner was caught on camera cussing out an opponent mid-game, and they couldn't even bother dropping a weak apology. Not even a fake PR post, just straight crickets. And Riley? She clocked that in real time and called it for what it is, a straight-up double standard. Because let's keep it real. If the roles were reversed and Caitlin Clark had said black girl in that exact same tone, Sis would have been canceled before the buzzer even sounded. we'd be seeing dropped endorsements, apology tour interviews, and probably some awkward sit-down with Gayle King by now. But when it's Brittany, suddenly nobody hears it. Suddenly the mic wasn't working. Yeah, right. Now by this point, the league can keep ignoring Riley all they want. But the internet is loud, and it ain't just her voice anymore. It's everyone. TikTok commentators, Reddit detectives, and they're bringing receipts and screenshots, while the WNBA's out here playing mute like the mic clip never happened. The comment sections are spiraling out of control. One post going viral said, "Imagine pretending to be a woman so you could dominate the WNBA and still getting whipped by a white girl, LMAO. Brutal." Then you got folks on the other side calling Riley the problem. One user wrote, "Did anybody actually hear her say that, or is Riley rage baiting again?" It's giving very much choose your fighter vibes. But the wildest comment that had me clutching my water bottle said, "Hilarious to see the logo mid-court and on coaches' shirts saying, 'Pay some respect to women's sports,' while a man is literally running across the logo. Like, not y'all treating the court like a runway for gender wars? Please." While everyone's arguing in the comments, some Reddit threads started connecting real dots. Alleged overseas fans are claiming Brittany was listed as non-disclosed on old international rosters. Others say there's multiple old IG lives where Brittany walked around shirtless. No compression gear, no scars, no blurs, nothing. And nobody flagged it. Not even the league. Naturally, people are calling it out for what it looks like: selective silence. And the longer they stay quiet, the messier it's gonna get. Because no matter where you stand on the Riley versus Brittany debate, one thing's for sure: the WNBA is choosing silence over clarity. And when it slips out, it ain't just the W that's going down. It's the whole damn alphabet. If you want more of these unfiltered breakdowns, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that bell so you never miss the next drop. See you on the next one.